JD Vance does it again, breaking the internet over his response in the interview heard round the world to the question, what have you learned from President Trump? Wait till you hear his answer. It is absolute solid gold. Plus, we got another Democrat. I got a lot of stories to share with you today, so buckle up. Another Democrat facing mortgage fraud? Dun, dun, dun. What a big shock. What is that, like the fifth one in the last 4 or 5 months? I'm sensing a little pattern here, folks. Also, Senator Fetterman. Could this guy be like the Trump of the Democrat Party? Going viral about what he said about Charlie Kirk in an interview viral clip. Also, and last but not least, you want to know the truth about Epstein? You want to know all this hoopla, all this drama for your mama? I've got the definitive answer. It's going to reveal everything. You don't want to miss this. Welcome to Nez Nation Live, everybody. I am your host, Professor Nez. Our mission here is to make common sense go viral. So tap that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and let's get right into it. Okay, our great Vice President JD Vance did this amazing interview, and I'm going to share with you what he said about Trump. But first, I want to share this amazing clip because he just nails it. I mean, spot on when it comes to the housing affordability crisis. You know, we reached an all-time record now that first-time home owners' age is now 40. It used to be like 33 or 32 not that long ago. But now the age has skyrocketed for first-time home buyers, 40 years old, if you can believe it. Listen to JD Vance and how he responds to this and what is the actual underlying cause and issue. It's perfect. Watch.
I know that there are a lot of people out there, Sean, who are saying things are expensive. And we have to remember they're expensive because we inherited this terrible inflation crisis from the Biden administration. But you've already seen signs that things are getting better. The price of eggs has gone way down. The price of energy has gone way down. The price of gasoline has gone way down. And as we know, when the price of energy goes down, that starts to filter out into the entire economy. But that also takes a little bit of time. There's another component of this, Sean, which to me is maybe the most important because I care so much about our young people being able to afford a good life. A lot of young people are saying housing is way too expensive. Why is that? Because we flooded the country with 30 million illegal immigrants who were taking houses that ought by right go to American citizens. And at the same time, we weren't building enough new houses to begin with, even for the population that we had. So what we're doing is trying to make it easier to build houses, trying to make it easier to build factories and things like that so that people have good jobs. We're also getting all of those illegal aliens out of our country, and you're already seeing it start to pay some dividends.
Absolutely spot on. We will never understand. I mean, the harmful ramifications of throwing out the red carpet to criminal illegals, terrorists, gangsters, Tren de Aragua, Venezuelan gangs, and the whole gamut. We will never be able to measure the irreparable harm that this has caused to our great nation. But thank God we've got people like Tom Homan. We've got ICE. We support ICE. Vice President, America First, Trump. We finally have, these are heroes. I mean, Tom Homan's a hero. Bovino, the chief ICE officer, he is a hero. They deserve statues of themselves. They are saving America. Crime is down in D.C. Crime is down in Chicago. Crime is down in L.A. I mean, they are safe. And these hypocrite Democrats are fighting them tooth and nail, which tells you everything you need to know about this. By the way, quick free poll before we get to the answer of the answer of the answer of all answers. That's a lot of answer. What are you paying per gallon right now in your city? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm paying $5 a gallon here in California. I would love it if you could just post down below in the comments, what is the cost per gallon, where you are, and let me know if, please, what city, what state. I would love to hear from you guys down below. Okay, here it is, folks. Here is the answer that is causing shockwaves across the planet because it is so absolutely just terrific and amazing. And more than anything, it's 100% accurate and true. Listen to this. You're going to love it.
What do you learn from President Trump? I mean, he is a force of nature.
He is.
I've known him 30 years. What have you learned from him?
You know, a few things. Number one, the president is amazing at compartmentalizing things. when something is going on, there's always a crisis. The very best day in the West Wing, there's at least one crisis somewhere in the world that somebody's putting at your desk. The president has an incredible ability to sort of say, okay, focus on that for 15 minutes and then go and focus on something totally different for 15 minutes. That's not naturally how I am. If something bad is going on, I tend to want to think about that thing and solve that problem before I go on to something else. The president is incredible at that compartmentalization. I think that's one of the reasons why he can handle 10 different problems at once, is because he's able to troubleshoot and then move on to the next thing, troubleshoot and move on to the next thing. The second thing that I've learned from the president, Sean, and I've tried to absorb it as much as I can, and I think some of this is just who he is and his natural instincts, is he has better instincts about human beings than anybody that I've ever met.
Which is why the guy has brokered 12 peace deals in a row, reoriented global trade for the United States, closed the border, met with President Xi, met with every single world leader, Putin, Netanyahu, even people from Saudi Arabia. He's met with everybody. He's good with everybody. Everybody respects America now. This man, everything that they put him through, everything that they put this guy through, they tried to debank him, smear him, imprison him, arrest him. They tried to assassinate our president. Everything. There's never been no public figure in the history of mankind that has experienced this level of negative publicity in the history of mankind. I mean, they've done everything. Now they're crying Epstein, 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 which I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to break all the BS in just a second. We're so lucky, America. And check this out. This is President Trump showing what kind of a heart of gold. I love this man. Here he is inviting, what a heartwarming moment. He's inviting little children into the Oval Office after he just passed record-breaking legislation with the First Lady Melania on foster care and foster care programs, accelerating it in the right direction, reforming it. Check out this beautiful moment. This is just really, really quick of him inviting children into the Oval Office. Watch.
That's for you. You want it, or you don't have to have it? Would you like it? She's smart. She said yes. So cute. Do you want one, honey? You want one, too? Look at him. Oh, he's got a lot of Italian blood in him. Look, that's for you.
Well, you must know what your name is.
My name is Donald. Okay, do you want a pen? Want a pen? 1, 2, 3.
That doesn't warm the cockles of your heart. I don't know what will. And they're just attacking this man. He's literally saving America, literally making crime illegal again, literally closing the border, literally making us look finally like a sovereign nation again. And they're just kicking him in the dirt, attacking him every chance he gets. God bless you. He is, I was live during Butler, that infamous day on July 13th, 2024. It's divine providence. This man is divinely endowed, and providence is guiding him. And thank you, God. God bless him. And I hope to God he remains safe. Please, God, keep him safe. Everybody say a prayer for our president, President Trump. Okay, let's get to this next story. Senator John Fetterman, who I think might be like the Trump he's like the only sliver of hope for this awful, abysmal Democrat Party. I mean, this is a party of violence, mayhem, anti-America. It's just turned into garbage. He refuses to back down to Katie Couric, who's a washed-up hack, as she continuously tries to get him to condemn Charlie Kirk. Watch this.
I think that flags should have been flown at half staff. Do you think his body should have been flown on Air Force Two? Do you think he should have posthumously be given the Presidential Medal of Freedom? I think some people felt that was perhaps over the top in terms of mourning someone like Charlie Kirk. How did you feel about that?
I'd say that was his choice and his prerogative, and that was really entirely up to him.
Did you have any issues now in hindsight over some of the things that Charlie Kirk said and some of the rhetoric he used during his life?
I didn't agree with much of it. I didn't closely follow his specific kinds of views, but I did.
I'm sure you learned about them after his death, though.
No, I haven't done a deep dive on it. I described, we've all seen that terrible video. Perhaps if you've seen the actual video, I have. And it's like appalling. And that's part of the political violence. And from what I'm saying, it's like that's unacceptable. And engaging in a debate and views I strongly disagree on, that's part of the American democracy. And for me, it's that would never justify what's happened. And I just chose not to take the opportunity to argue his views after children lost his father in the most violent public way. So that's, I would say the equivalent on the left might be, say, Mr. Piker. I strongly disagree with his views, but I'm appalled if something like that happened to him. Oh my God. That's, like we have to disagree in better ways where, you're going to solve it by shooting people. And that's why the kinds of rhetoric, we have to turn the temperature down. Extreme rhetoric makes it easier for extreme reactions or to justify them.
I think some people might say Charlie Kirk's rhetoric was extreme. I think that's the conversation that happened. People condemned political violence, but they also felt a great deal of discomfort with his language, suggesting that these kinds of words lead to violence. I don't know. I'm just kind of sharing my observations as I saw the conversations unfold.
Yeah, I agree. I think we agree that we probably didn't agree with much of what he said. And I think I'm sure we both agree that you shouldn't shoot people, and you shouldn't execute them in public. And I think that's two things must be true. That free speech, I'm an absolute free speech guy, and you have the right to say these things, and you definitely also have the right not to get shot by sharing your views.
You notice how Katie Couric, just like all of these woke apparatus media, she can't even bring herself to condemn the violence. Like, if you don't have critical discernment, you can't see what she's doing right there. It's not brain science. He was literally unalived in front of his kids for using language, words that's protected under our Constitution. It's literally in the fabric and DNA of the United States of America and the Constitution. Are you kidding me right now? What are you doing, Katie? She says, well, a lot of people would say that his rhetoric was violent. And, I'm just kind of thinking out loud. Does that mean that you have the right to end his life in front of his children? And he's right about Hassan Piker. Hassan Piker right now is in China, literally denouncing the United States of America, touting the beliefs and principles and values of communism, literally right now. And this guy's one of Mamdani's, butt buddies. It's unreal to me. This party is an absolute joke. Here she is again, trying to egg on Fetterman. And kudos to Senator Fetterman for not biting to say something bad and call Trump a Nazi. Hitler, watch this.
You said that Donald Trump, in your view, is not an autocrat because his presidency is, quote, the product of a democratic election. But history has shown that even leaders who come to power through elections can still govern in anti-democratic ways. So I have to ask, when you consider some of Donald Trump's behaviors and policies, like deploying federal forces to U.S. cities, undermining the Department of Justice's independence, attempting to overturn the 2020 election, does that not trouble you deeply?
Well, of course. I was really the tip of the spear in the 2020 election in Pennsylvania, where he claimed that it wasn't like a fair, safe election. Absolutely. I pushed back violently on that. And I don't support many of these things that are happening right now. I don't and never vote for those things. But now for me, it's like, here we are. But I think at this point right now, we are not in an autocracy. We're in a democracy, and that's why they were able to shut our government down. And that doesn't mean that we appreciate what's happening. And that expression, it's not normal. It's like, yes, it isn't normal, but that doesn't mean this is an autocracy right now. And what it does mean that we have a lot of hills that we can choose to die on. But I think for me, I've just been choosing some of the most difficult ones. And that's where I've been, and not supporting, many of these things that are happening.
It's like if you start speaking, what this reminds me of is like if you start actually speaking with logic, reason, grounded reality, you're all of a sudden shunned and you're ostracized from the Democrats. If you're not extreme, if you're not using every single gimmick and trick in the book just to get the guy, not because you care about the people or you're doing your actual job of serving the people, or if you actually just accept the fact that, look, this was a democratic, open, free election and process, and we lost. We got our butts kicked. America made their choice, and maybe we should put our country over our party and actually help this guy to make America great again. No, you start making sense and you start saying like, well, no, this isn't, how could he be a king? You guys just had an imaginary no kings protest. You're calling this guy a king when if he was an actual king, he wouldn't even let you protest. He'd probably put you in the gallows. He'd hang you. It makes no sense. Fetterman is just, I'm not even a fan of Fetterman because I'm not really a fan of anybody who's a liberal or Democrat. But I will say this, at least he is sticking to his guns. He's standing behind his values and his principles. And Katie Couric and the rest of this cult are scary. They're dangerous. And he just had like a fall recently. Apparently it was due to some health complications and he's fine. But I think the reason why I call this guy maybe the Trump of the Democrat Party, because Trump faced the same thing from even Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, all the Republican kind of deep state rhino established Republican GOP party. They gave him nothing but vitriol and hate and ostracization. They threatened him with all sorts of things and they went after him, tooth and nail. And so I almost feel like Fetterman, if the guy would just maybe put on a jacket or something and not look like, he just, fell out of like a dump truck, he might actually be able to make a run. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. You let me know in the comments down below. Okay, let's get to the big story of the day, Epstein. So the Democrats have absolutely nothing. The Democrats are now saying with all these emails, it implies MAGA's dead, Trump is dead, it's over, he's a PEDO. I just can't believe that they would just, no sense of like decency, self-introspection. They're calling him all over X, all over online, videos, everywhere, all these paid Democrat shill influencers. Well, if you guys really cared so much about the victims, which they don't, if you really cared this much about Epstein, which they don't, if you weren't consumed head to toe with utter, pure, poisonous rage for one man, which is our president, Trump, maybe, just maybe, you wouldn't have done this. Check out Congressman Tim Burchett, who tried to pass a unanimous UC, which is a unanimous consent, and this happened. Check this out.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett. Just left the House floor, and I tried to do a UC, unanimous consent, tried to get the Epstein files, get it straight to the floor, just to cut out all this nonsense. And, and the Democrats blocked it, oddly enough. Now here they've had it for 4 years, and they, obviously if there's something there about Trump, they would have released it. And now they're all, no, let's get it out. Well, I just made a motion to bring it straight to the dadgum floor, and they blocked it. So this is politics. It has nothing to do with what's doing what's right. And it's Washington, D.C. to a T. And again, they ought to be ashamed of themselves, but they're probably not. Thank y'all for sending me here.
They blocked it. Well, color me shocked. Wow. You guys have been crying about this for God knows how long. You've had control of the White House for 4 years. You had control of the House and Senate for 4 years before Trump. You had control of all the intelligence communities for 4 years. And you've been sitting on it for this long. And now you cry, oh, look at this. Look at all these emails, which is all a bunch of BS. I completely debunked all of them in a previous video. You got to go check that out on my channel. And now Congressman Burchett brings to the floor your sure-proof way of getting this thing out there, whatever this thing is, which it's all just a bunch of mysterious fodder, if you ask me, and you guys block it? You block it. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about the Democrats, this is just another hoax in a long line of hoaxes. They don't care about the victims. They don't care about America. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about our country. They don't care about rule of law. They don't care about anything. They only care about one thing: saving their own miserable, pathetic, vile, feckless, spineless, cockroach vermin asses. Period. That's all they care about. So whenever you hear this Epstein, remember what Congressman Burchett said. They blocked it. They don't give a hoot. I can't wait to get your thoughts on everything we talked about today. Woo! This was a jam-packed video. I think I deserve, especially if you love America, a thumbs up. So please click that thumbs up, share it. Even if you're watching on TV, you can do it with your remote. It helps us out immeasurably. I would really greatly appreciate it. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed them. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It's free. Hit that bell notification, turn on all notifications so you don't miss anything. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.